Hello everyone and welcome back to Mr. Smitty's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be continuing on with our series where we're basically using our Google SketchUp for school skills to build different chess pieces. So far we've taken our time and we've built the pawn, the king, and the rook. Today we're going to work on the bishop. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to pull up your Google SketchUp for Schools. So again, I'm just going to do a quick refresh of mine here. Once it loads up, it'll show me my directory of all my projects. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Pawn-Chess Piece because that was the one I originally made to do these projects. All right, so now that we're getting started, I've actually got a keyboard up in the top left of the screen. It'll actually allow you to see the different key presses that I'm pressing, and I hope this helps a little bit more. So what we're going to do, you can see that we have our pawn, we have our king, and we have our rook. We are going to move on and do the bishop. Again, if you want to move these around, I moved mine around ahead of time just to give myself a little extra room to work. You can do that by just using the move tool. So if you were to click this, and on the keyboard, if you press M, it'll switch to the move tool. You can just move it along the red axis, which is our x-axis. All right, so we're going to start with the bishop. So what we're going to do is grab our select tool here, and we're going to double click on the base that we want to draw our bishop on. So I'm going to double click. All right, we've got the black dotted box going around, so now we know that we're going to actually edit that model. So just like we've done with all our other pieces, we're going to use inferencing to find the middle. All right, so just go to one of the edges, like there, and then you're looking for the snap to the middle, so right there. All right, I'm going to zoom out. Again, I'm holding shift and I'm pressing down on the mouse wheel. All right, to move my screen, I'm pressing down on the mouse wheel to rotate. So our bishop needs to be not as tall as our king, but it's a little bit taller than our rook. So for me, I think right there is a good spot. Remember, we don't care about dimensioning. We're just designing and sculpting and modeling here. So we're going to do exactly what we've done with every other piece, and we're going to draw a plane. So I like to start at the bottom for mine, so I'm going to go zoom in. I'm going to click, come to the side, zoom back out, move up. It's going to inference to the top point, and I'm going to draw a rectangle to give us a plane to draw on. Now I don't have to do this, but what it does is it allows it so that I'm not just drawing lines into different, I guess, sections of our plane that we're working in. I can draw on the face and easily do my design. So let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna start with the top. Every bishop has the little circle egg shape, or the egg shape head, but with a little sphere on top. So I'm gonna grab my circle tool. So I'm gonna go inside of the rectangle tool, grab the circle tool, and I'm just gonna place a little circle on top. Now remember, we're sculpting and modeling, so we don't care about dimensions right now. I'm going to go ahead and grab my line tool. So if you press L, grab your line tool, and I'm going to zoom in and go ahead and bisect this circle because we're going to need to do that later, so let's just go ahead and handle it now. So the next thing is we need to draw the little egg-shaped head. So I'm going to go grab my 2-point arc tool here, and I'm going to decide exactly where I want. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to click there, and you can decide how skinny or fat you want it. I think that looks good for me. Now I'm going to go in here on the bottom. I think I'm going to go a little bit up, and I'm going to put a collar. And we've done this. You know, we've added collars on each of our pieces so far. All right, so right now I have the head, or I have the little sphere on top, the egg-shaped head of the bishop, and a collar. So the last thing we need to do is the body. So again, I'm going to grab the 2-point arc tool. I'm going to come in here. Again, I'm just modeling. It's up to you, kind of the shape of your bishop. And I can use this bottom line here to gauge kind of my the intensity of my arc. So for me, I think that looks pretty good. So at this point, our design for our bishop is done. Now we just need to take our eraser tool. So with my finger, I'm going to press E, switch to the eraser tool, and I just need to clean up all the inside lines and delete the outside portion. So I'm going to click here, and all of that's gone. I'm going to click there. Now I'm going to go inside of here. Oh, shouldn't have done that. I'm going to delete this side. All right, I'm going to go in here and delete this line, and this line. All right, so I want this to be one profile. So you want to delete all your inside lines until you have just one profile. But you can see here that I've actually messed up because my sphere on top and my bottom piece are not one profile. So there's multiple ways to fix this. I'm just going to go up here, draw a little extension with my line tool. Sorry. All right, so you can see that again. I'm going to draw a little extension in here with my line tool, like that. And then I'm just going to grab the eraser tool again and delete these inside lines. All right, that way we have a little bit of room to make this one profile. All right, so I just wanted to demonstrate kind of an issue that you could have while you were doing this. So I'm going to highlight and see that it's all one profile because I've got the blue dots all the way down. So now we're actually going to use our follow me tool to revolve around. So I go over here to the right and I select the follow me tool. Then I go back up to my select tool and I can select this circle here, or if I double click and then do a control shift negative click, it'll remove that and give me just the ring. So again, I can click this or double click it, then control shift and click, and it does a negative select, and then I get just the ring. Now I grab my follow me tool and I click. So it is now rotated. Looks like I got a few geometry issues here when it did the rotation. I can just take my select tool and I can clean those up. That's just the tool when it did its rotation. Alright, sorry guys. Alright, so you're just cleaning up any errors in the geometry from when it did the follow me. Alright, you shouldn't have any extra lines anywhere. Looks like there's one right here. For this one, you can actually go in here and connect these. Just gotta find the right one. Okay. Oh, looks like I got one more. See what happens if I delete that. Alright, so you just need to actually handle any geometry issues you have. So yeah. Alright, so we're gonna move forward, and at this point our bishop's looking really good. The only thing we're missing is every traditional bishop has that cut out of the top of it. So we're going to do what's called intersecting models, and it's going to leave the design for us to delete. So what I want you to do is click off. So once you've clicked off, your black box will be gone. Now out in front of the bishop, out in this area, we are going to draw a rectangle. So we're basically going to draw the model of what we want to cut into here. So out in front, I want you to draw a skinny, just a nice skinny rectangle. So whatever you want this cut to look like is what this rectangle needs to do. So if you want it to be a fat cut, you need a fat rectangle. I want mine to be a nice skinny cut, so I'm going to do a skinny rectangle. At this point, grab your push-pull tool, click, and pull up. All right, that's actually a little high. It doesn't need to be that big because we're just cutting down into this. Once you've got your rectangle drawn out in front of your bishop, double click it or triple click it so the whole thing is selected. So again, click, 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 click. Then right click and make group. So now that this is a group, we can use our move tool and go and click on the corner, and we're going to move it onto the top of this. All right, you can just click and drag it onto the top. I like to use the move tool according to the axes. All right, so I'm going to move up the Z axis. So I'm just going to move up to the blue and then click. All right, now I'm going to rotate this way. I'm going to click that corner again, and I'm going to move according to the green axis. All right, then I'm going to click. Then I'm going to click the corner again, and I see that I need to come up a little bit more on the blue. Oh, well, let me grab that again. All right, so there's the blue. So really about right there. Then I'm going to click that corner again. I'm going to come a little out. All right, so there we go. So you basically want to move your rectangle onto the top of your bishop so that they are intersecting. So when we use the intersection with model, it'll cut that shape into the bishop. But here's the thing, traditionally this cut is at an angle. So what we're going to do is we need to angle this rectangle now. So if you go over here to your move tool and you grab on the rotate tool and you zoom in and you click this bottom left corner and then you click one of the sides, it'll allow you to rotate. So I'm going to zoom in so I can get a little more precision. But for me, honestly, I think I want to move this in a little bit. So I'm going to go back and grab the move tool, click this, move it in a little bit. Now I'm going to go back and do the rotate. Again, bottom left corner. Then you click on the right side. Oh, all right. Make sure it's red. See what I did there is when I clicked the bottom left corner, my rotate tool was blue, so we rotated on the blue axis. All right, we want to rotate on the red for this, so click it, click the side. Actually, that looks really good. I'm liking that. I'm liking that angle. I'm liking everything about this. All right, so at this point, we now need to select and do our intersection. So we're going to do a model to model intersection. So we have the model of our bishop and we have the model of our rectangle, and we want them to intersect to create basically an intersection that we're going to delete out and then make sure it's solid. So I'm going to double click on my bishop. I'm going to click on the egg because that's one of our intersections. Then I'm going to right click and go to intersect faces with model. Again, double click the bishop, click on the egg, right click, intersect faces with model. All right, then I'm going to click off. If I click this and hit delete, all right, I did that kind of fast. All right, so double click, click on the egg, right click, intersect faces with model, click off. Now if I click that rectangle and delete, it's going to leave their intersection. So at this point, I just double click again to get into edit. I click and delete. So not bad, looks pretty good, right? The only issue is we're hollow. All right, so this is not a solid model. So what we need to do now is take our line tool, so press L, and we need two lines. Two lines will add back the geometry to make this go solid. So I'm going to draw from this corner to this corner, and you can see it went solid there. And then we're going to draw from this corner to this corner, and then it's going to make this side go solid and this side go solid. So at this point, I'm going to click off. I'm going to center up my model, and I am very, very happy with this. All right, the goal is to make a bishop chess piece, and that's exactly what we've got. Remember, guys, it's up to you for the design. I could go in here. If you remember from our last video, quick review, I can go in here and add one of these to right here if I wanted. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to click. I'm going to zoom in for this. I'm going to double click here so that it gets the outer ring, inner ring, and this surface, but all I want is this inner ring. So then I'm going to hit Control Shift and double click the side, and that'll get rid of this ring. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift and click right here, and that'll get rid of that. So now only this middle ring is selected. If I go over here to my Move tool, I can move this down and over, but if I press the up arrow key, it'll link these, and then I can add a little flavor to my bishop. I could even go inward if I wanted, add a little different flavor. Alright, but it's up to you on the design side. I just wanted to quickly review that. Alright, well, for the purpose of this, guys, we are finished. Everything looks good. And the next video, we're going to move in and we're going to talk about the queen. As always, guys, I would appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and share. And of course, come back and check out the next video when we move on to the queen.